Hi, I'm Robin. I am the owner of Senior Benefits and Beyond. And I want to talk to you today about COBRA and Medicare. This is very important because a lot of people get this confused, and this can cause some expensive repercussions down the line if you don't understand how this works. So, when you are still working and you've got employer group coverage, you have a special enrollment period when you retire to enroll in Medicare Part B penalty free. And that's a window of 8 months. So when your active employer coverage ends, you have 8 months to enroll in Medicare Part B before any penalties would kick in. Now, when some people leave or some people retire from their job, they're offered COBRA. And it sounds great because it's a continuation of your employer coverage. But the key difference here is that it's not active coverage. Big difference, because that special enrollment period for Medicare Part B starts when you leave your active coverage. The second part, and the second kind of thing to keep in mind here, is that COBRA, once you're 65 or older, COBRA becomes secondary insurance to Medicare. So if you don't have Medicare in place, if you don't have that Medicare Part A and Part B in place, you're going to be paying a lot out of pocket, even though you have COBRA coverage. Here's an example. So if you go to a doctor and you have COBRA but not Medicare, and you're 65 or older, you go to a doctor, the claim is submitted to your COBRA provider, and they say, well, we're not going to pay this because Medicare is the primary insurer and they should have covered this part of this bill. So who's stuck with that? You are stuck with that. So that is situation number one. You need to have Medicare in place if you have COBRA in order for all of it to work and to coordinate together. All right. That's one thing. The second thing is that with a Medicare supplement plan, those Medicare Plan Gs, Plan Ns, all the popular Medicare supplement plans that people like so much, they have a guaranteed issue or a guaranteed acceptance when you're first eligible for Medicare and you first get that Medicare Part B in place. That guaranteed acceptance only lasts for 6 months. Okay, so what does that mean? So you've got COBRA for they offered it to you for, let's just say they offered it to you for 18 months. So what happens if you keep COBRA for 18 months and you want a plan G at the end of that? What that means is you're going to have to answer the medical questions that the insurance carrier wants to ask you, and they could outright say, no, we don't want you. All right. So that's another little situation with COBRA. So what do you do? How do you make this choice? Well, know your options when you are retiring or when you're leaving your job and they offer you COBRA. It's really important because if Medicare is primary to COBRA, so COBRA is not going to pay unless you have Medicare. And secondly, COBRA is expensive. Let's face it. So what do you do? What do you do? If you're retiring 3 months prior to your retirement, we need to talk because we need to figure out what is going to work best for you, not only in for your medical coverage, but financially. And what does that look like? We want to make sure that you don't run into any situations where you're going to have penalties for a late enrollment in Part B for the rest of your life. No one needs that. So let's make sure that we talk. Let's make sure that we understand how COBRA and Medicare work together. And let's look at your specific situation because I will say it every time. Everybody's situation is different. So let's talk about your situation and what would work best for you. So get in touch with me. I look forward to helping you. And remember, COBRA and Medicare, COBRA, not active coverage. Medicare would be primary, COBRA would be secondary.